we've seen firsthand what's been happening at these schools, and it's not acceptable.
I'm an employee of this board, and I'm a little sick of the nonsense. I'll just leave it at that, the nonsense.
The TDSB needs to gain control of the situation and understand the widespread suffering that they have allowed to persist.
Students miss school because they're afraid of being targeted for being Jewish, and even teachers have missed school because they're afraid that their students will target them.
I do hope we can make a difference. I think we will, because Jewish students, parents, staff, everybody needs to feel safe and supported in the place of education, and it's time that we stepped up and made those changes.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. And folks, I'm outside the headquarters for the Toronto District School Board. And as you can see behind me, about 1,000 members of the Jewish community and their allies have gathered. And basically, they're here to send a message to the Toronto District School Board, namely, enough is enough. For example, tonight, trustees will be voting on something called Combating Hate and Racism Strategy, which, according to these people, does absolutely nothing to address the unprecedented level of hate-motivated incidents against Jewish students. I don't know if this demonstration is going to sway trustees to come down more forcefully on anti-Semitism and Jew hatred. We know there are just so many documented cases. In the meantime, we're going to wander into the crowd and see what these folks have to say.
Is anyone here believing their excuses?
School is a place where all students should feel safe, included, and free from discrimination. But needless to say, this school year has been tremendously hard for many TDSB students.
Tell us, how bad is it right now to be a Jewish student in the TDSB, or specifically your school, Earl Haig?
Yeah, it's definitely scary. There's been a number of anti-Semitic incidents at my school, and they started on October 10th, which was the first day back. Students in keffiyehs ran around our school chanting for death to Jews and Intifada, and since then, weekly, there's been anti-Semitic incidents.
We're both TDSB teachers, and we're tired of the nonsense going on. We're very pro-Israel. We're sick of Jewish teachers and students being harassed, and they're peddling all this pro-Palestinian propaganda. Teachers wearing keffiyehs and chanting for terrorist chants from the river to the sea, and they're supporting all these walkouts and basically supporting Hamas, and we're sick of it. And we're here to support the Jewish community and stand in solidarity with them.
What is it like being a teacher in this board post October 7th?
Yes, it's very difficult, right? We feel alone, and we feel that it is time to act up and teach students and staff about anti-Semitism training, because at this time, that's what everybody needs.
We don't understand why this is happening, and that's why we're here today, because something needs to change, because there shouldn't be the double standard, right?
Why are they not protecting anyone else? Why are they not protecting the Asians? Why are they not protecting the indigenous? Why are they not protecting the Jews? Any other race except the Palestinians.
This anti-Semitism has been here. It's rooted in the system. Yes. That's the reason why no Jewish people advocating for Israel were allowed to speak here today in support or against this motion.
The hate crimes are exponentially going through the roof against the Jewish students. We're such a small percentage of the TDSB community, yet the hate crimes have multiplied probably 500-fold since the Gaza outbreak. My friend Ken has experienced this in his school as well.
I've seen some glimmerings of it in Scarborough, and it's very disheartening. I can understand why these meetings take place. I'm not really understanding why this meeting is taking place while anti-Semitic incidents are surging all over the city.
Our community will no longer be silent.
We have learned a lot about anti-Black racism, Indigenous issues, and it's made our professional life and our student life enriched. And at this time, we also need to learn about anti-Semitism. I really wonder, my question always is, for Jewish Heritage Month, why don't we learn Jewish history? It's not Jewish History Month, is it? Well, it could be. And I just do believe that we need to get back to some of our basics and that history in our education.
Like, why are you wishing on me and my family's death when it doesn't have anything to do with it. And I just feel as though, like, we don't do that type of stuff, right? Like, on this side, we're loud, we're strong, but we don't wish any death or like rape or anything on the other side, which I just don't understand why it would be coming back to us.
How is it that anti-Palestinian racism is the hot button for this board?
I am not sure, but you know, there is a comment that was made by someone, and I'm not going to go into names right now, who said, follow the money.
Oh, okay.
Follow the money. Who's behind it all? Who is driving this agenda?
I want to make it very clear. The reason we're here, and it looks a certain way, but we're not protesting against anti-racism. Yeah. We're not here protesting against anti-racism. What we're advocating for is the fair treatment of all minorities under this act.
This community is very important to me, and he's a very good friend of mine, and I want to support my friend and all my Jewish friends in this, what seems to be something that's just falling apart at the seams right now in terms of the leadership in this city.
I think everybody needs to understand that it is a time to deal with history and facts and make sure that we're not bringing the wrong politics into the classroom at this time.
Who do you think is funding this campaign?
Well, just from things I read, I see that there's definitely funding appears to come directly from Hamas. You're back through various, primarily Muslim organizations.
It's been very tough for Palestinian students, for Jewish students, for Israeli students, for all minorities at times. We need to make sure that our anti-racist policies encompass everyone.
The indoctrination is entrenched. Equity, diversity, inclusion doesn't seem to include Jewish students ever, Jewish staff members.
What is the unspoken strategy by the Toronto District School Board? Is it that they're looking through things in a woke lens, i.e. Israel is the colonizer, the Palestinians are the colonized, ignoring, of course, 4,000 years of history. Is that what the problem is? Because as you just said, it's been anti-Semitism that has spiked. We see open calls for genocide every weekend in so many cities. I'm just trying to find out, Cole, why aren't they addressing the elephant in the room?
It's a very good question. I think that there is definitely some aspect of that, but the reality is that, there's a reason why we're standing outside here. We could be inside. Yeah. Many times people were inside. I've been inside there advocating for arts programs in schools. We were allowed in. Why aren't we allowed in now? That's the question.
Oh, that is interesting. You're giving me some new information. Yeah. The TDSB won't allow members of this community to come in and see them. Why?
100+ Jewish people asked to speak against the motion to encourage trustees to vote no, to encourage trustees to put forward a motion that protects both Jewish students, Palestinian students, and all other minorities. Yeah. But they were rejected.
We're not a group that's really supported in the TDSB community, unfortunately. That's what I feel as an educator for the TDSB.
Folks, have you had it up to here with the amount of hatred that we are witnessing almost on a daily basis in the streets of our great Dominion? And a lot of it is being carried out by people who aren't even Canadian citizens. They're on foreign visas. They're international students. You're coming here to take advantage of our hospitality in Canada, and you're chanting for genocide. Time to pack your bags and leave. If you think like we do, folks, go to deporthamas.com. That's deporthamas.com and sign our petition.